Hey everybody, welcome back to another 3D Hangouts. I'm Noe Pedro Ruiz, designer here at Adafruit. Joining me every week is Mr. PiGRRL.
What's going on, everybody? I'm PiGRRL Zero, creative tech here at Adafruit, and every week we come to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
Yeah, this is the show we combine 3D printing, DIY electronics, we make inspirational projects for folks. You folks. So hello everybody, welcome to the show. We are actually pre-recording this show. Usually we do a live show, but there's some things coming up on Thursday, so we figured instead of not doing a show on Thursday, we're going to pre-record the show. We got a coupon code for you guys. Yes, we do. Coupon code this week is Key Polish.
That's right. Gets you 10% off in the Adafruit shop. It works until 11:59 p.m. tonight. Works on everything except software and gift certificates.
That's right. Throwing a curveball at you guys, there's no project video this week, so be sure to check out last week's project video if you haven't already. But we do have some videos for you. We have Time Lapse Tuesday, we got a Layer by Layer, and of course this show, Key Polish. We'll talk about more about why it's Key Polish, but hey, we got $100 off. Wait, for $100 orders or more, we got the free shipping.
It's $200.
$200 more.
Or more.
Sorry,
you get free shipping.
I haven't done this in a while.
In about a week.
Yeah. Same day delivery in NYC.
For certain people in certain zip codes in the New York area.
Manhattan.
Check those out.
Adafruit Daily. Still rocking it.
Daily tips and tricks on maker business, wearables, 3D printing, and biohacking.
Yeah.
So definitely be sure to subscribe to those. Check those out.
That's right. So we're going to start off with Woody prototyping. Here we go. By the way, we're getting over sickness. That's why we sound a little bit weird.
Yeah, entire last week.
Yeah, our holiday weekend was just like getting better.
Perfectly aligned with the holiday weekend. And then the hurricane came by and totally messed up our nice travel plans. So we've been doing some more dual extrusion testing with no pillars, no ooze shields, and a new way to do the dodecahedron, which...
that's an icosahedron.
Icosahedron.
The dodeca has a lot more sides.
So this was, you really wanted to remake the D20 inside of Fusion.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I found out a way how to make 3D sketch geometry, which I kind of learned that by making the unicorn horn. Last week we had a unicorn horn, and the way to create that was using a coil, projecting a sketch in 3D. And this was the same thing where I had to project some sketches in 3D to make the icosahedron, because I kind of had like a hacky way to do it in 1-2-3 design. So we'll go over the layer by layer in just a minute, but I want to show you sort of the progress of making this. So this is dual extruded. It's all nice and fancy. Pedro, help me out. What was this printed on?
Yeah, so my job was to figure out how to get all the non-ooze shield, non-pillar way to get this printing using the Sigma BCN 3D Sigma independent dual extrusion printer, which we should have pretty soon, so be on the lookout for that.
In the shop.
In the shop.
So we've been testing it for many months now.
Yeah.
We got 175 filament. This was printed with 175 filament on both extruders, just regular PLA. And pretty much like the same stuff for the unicorn horn, right? Last week we showed the unicorn horn, time lapse of it printing. We don't have a time lapse of this one, but we will have one.
I did not process it. Oh, I should remember to do that, yeah.
Oh. Well, here it is. Good. There's a little bit of contamination, but hey, it's all about figuring out what geometries work well for this. So this one does have a lot of crossing paths because this cage is encasing the dodecahedron. It's two separate STLs that are merged together. They're not merged together, not in CAD. They're just printed. They're fused together because of the tight tolerances that they have. You'll see that there's a hollow in the center there, but this wasn't the first thing I did. The first thing I printed was actually this guy here. So if you guys follow on Instagram, I was able to create this one. You want to hold that while I fix the focusing? It's all weird. So the thing about this one is it's just the frame. So the cool thing about making it in Fusion is that you can create all sorts of different shapes from your projected sketch. So in this case, I was able to make it, I guess it's good right there. So in this case, I printed it in stainless steel PLA. It's composite PLA from the guys at Proto Pasta. They make some great stuff. This was one of those parts that you could easily sand. So I sanded each face individually. You could just clutch the whole thing and then sand it down like this on a flat sandpaper using 220 grit. Very, very easy to sand. A little bit of, like 5-10 minutes or something of sanding. And then to make it super polished, I just chucked it in our lower tone 3A rock tumbler. And I tumbled it for just 1 hour, and I was able to get this super, you see no build lines, it's very clean, it's very shiny, no polishing compound either. Because the screws, the medium as the screws are just stainless steel, so it's steel on steel, right? Mm-hmm. So you get this polish without minimal effort. So I really like how this turned out because, you know, if you were to polish just a regular print with no sanding, you're still going to see the build lines. Yeah. And we showed this off with the dodecahedron when we printed that in stainless steel and iron. You know, we were trying to show like what's the difference in polishing. You saw build lines. So the key here is polishing. Get it? Key, polish. Mm-hmm. Right there. There you go. So that worked really well. So that's pretty cool. So then I took it up a notch. I was like, you know, I want to combine. I want to do something a little bit different. So what I did was I made another one. But this time I printed it in pieces. So check out this half. This is just a half of the icosahedron. And then this is just everyday PLA. It's actually called everyday PLA from Protopasta. So it's very clear and transparent. I even sanded this down. So all of this is sanded. This was also chucked in the polish in the tumbler. And I still got that super shiny polish. But I have a secret chamber here, an inner core that has LEDs, that has 5 LEDs in the core. I have a coin cell right here with a coin cell holder, and it glows freaking red. It's pretty nice. So this is just sort of an ornament at this point, but this could be used, maybe you could hook this up to an Adafruit Huzzah board with Wi-Fi ESP8266, and then you can have that hook up into Adafruit I/O. You can have this light up whenever you get a message of some sort, when a sensor fires off, maybe the doorbell rings, or maybe you get a notification that a GitHub repo was updated. You can get this turned on. But this is just really cool either way. So I'm still working on it. All the wires feed out through the back here, like I was showing you, into this little Adafruit Perma-Proto. And I did use the our flexible PCB, but that just kept breaking because has a lot of movement. In a lot of projects it makes sense, but in this one it didn't make sense. So I had to cut this little piece using a Dremel, and then I just wired 2 wires into this little coin cell. So yeah, that's kind of the project at this point. I'm obviously going to make like a base or something to hide the components, and I'm going to swap out this battery for maybe a LiPo battery or power boost so that you can just plug it into the wall or recharge it through via the battery or something. So this is just a little prototype, again, 2 pieces. It's pretty cool. I really like the two-tone thing, and to have it like polished like that. There is a little seam, but I kind of don't mind it. I like it. It's kind of neat. It adds kind of depth to it. So that's the sort of project that's cooking right now. Pretty neat.
Yeah. So Halloween inspired, like maybe
I think
it could
so.
be like a whatever accessory that
Maybe
goes.
an accessory for your game master outfit that you got going on.
And then again, the way to sort of extend your power and your ground cables.
Yeah.
Just figured out how to do instead of like making Y cables or T cables. Definitely want to try looking at these.
These
very
things
lovely
are awesome. We have many different sizes. This is a quarter. Is this a quarter? Yeah, this is a quarter size. Mm-hmm. Very tiny.
Size here.
There's a half size, and then a full size is even bigger.
And lately we've been using the flexible ones, but like as you said, you don't want these to have any sort of flex.
Too much, yeah.
Because of the sheer number of connections that you're making on these, would bend and short themselves out by touching.
Yeah.
Wasn't too much of a problem in the projects I've recently done.
I've used it in many projects too already.
Yeah.
And they're enclosed. This isn't enclosed yet. Mm-hmm. So maybe when I do enclose it, I could throw a flex PCB in there. But we got a lot of different kinds. What's this one?
Yeah, so another option that you could go, because this is super hard to cut. It's
you need a Dremel.
You need a Dremel, yeah.
And you need a respirator mask because the dust and fibers are pretty bad. So be careful.
You can go a little bit more cheaper too if you're still in that prototyping stage but want to have your connections a little bit more solid. You can pick yourself up one of these.
Is this paper phenolic? Is that what they're called? I believe it's paper phenolic. So it's easy to cut with scissors. Not easy, but relatively.
A lot more easier, yeah. So you can get these. These are only single plated, so there's a cover on the back side, but this will be a lot more easier to cut. So
so check it out, guys. On the Adafruit site, we have plenty of them. So you get one for $3. or you could get a 3-pack of the quarter size for $8. Many different types. You even have a shield for the Pi.
Oh, there's the full-sized one.
The full-size one is huge, yeah. I think for most projects you're going to be fine with the single half size. Yeah. We just have some, I'll tell you, tins. We've got a lot of different ones, so check them out on the Adafruit site. Go ahead, pick those up for your next project. Use the coupon code KeyPolish. Pretty cool.
So you actually want to go over and to jump around a little bit, go into layer by layer. How have you created the sketches that built out the geometry for this?
Yeah, I'm just going to do a quick one, but I will do, what do you call it? A quick one. I'll do a full layer by layer next week on it, but there's also a layer by layer this week on direct manipulation. So check that out.
Very handy when you check that out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, so to make the D20, you kind of need some reference planes. So in 123D, when I first made it, I wanted to do it in this method, but I couldn't create 3 dimensions, so I kind of had to hack it. I had to kind of tweak settings and then project sketches and stuff like that. But in 123D, you can do this. So I set up 3 planes. So there's one on the top, one on the side, and one going on the Y. So there's one on every axis, right? And the key here is to have they call it like golden rectangle, which has a very specific ratio. So there's actually calculators on Google that you could search for that give you, you could put in a number and it'll give you the equivalent number, the ratio to make a golden rectangle. So in this case, it's 60 by 37.5. So I had to make them, and the key here is to actually use these reference planes. You see the corners here? You have to form a triangle by connecting these corners together. But to do that, you need 3D. So to do that, to make a 3D sketch, we could grab any sketch tool, and then we can pick any plane. Since it's going to be 3D, just pick any plane. And then from there, go into Sketch, under Project and Include. There's this feature called Include 3D Geometry. And once you click that, you then have the ability to sketch in all 3 dimensions. It's no longer 2D. So at this point, all I need to do is grab the line tool and connect the dots, right? So connect the corners together like this, create one triangle, and it closes it. You can see, by rotating it, you can really see this is not on just one plane. This is on all 3 planes, because that's the only way to create this thing, or at least in Fusion. So at that point, you just have to connect the dots for every corner. You end up with, well, 20 sides, because it's a D20. So you have to connect the dots, and I would recommend sort of, obviously orbiting around the thing so you make sure you're connecting the right dots. It can be a little bit confusing sometimes. You can always turn off and on the sketches to see exactly what you've created, to make sure that they're actually enclosed. They turn orange when you know you have a full enclosed sketch. So at some point, when you create all of them, you're left with 20 of them, and this is what it looks like. I'll turn off all the reference planes, and there you go, and then you have a D20. So once you have the sketches, then you have to start making a solid. So just grab one of the triangles, one of the faces, and then just extrude it out. And what I like to do is I like to taper out the solid so that it kind of forms like a pyramid type shape, so you can flare it inwards like that. And then from there, you can do a loft. So select an adjacent triangle, and when you have it selected, you can hide the sketch, and then pick one of the faces from the solid that you extruded, and then just loft to it. And then Fusion's smart enough to know, all right, I need to create this geometry, and it creates a solid out of that. So once you got that, then you just duplicate the floft process for every single face. And you don't have to do the whole thing. I just did half of it, which actually helped out a lot, because then I could create those halves that snap together. Instead of just cutting it flat, you have this really nice kind of angled cut, right? So at this point, you have your 2 halves. You can merge them together. You can create a shell. You can add fillets, chamfers. You can put numbers on it. You can do a lot of different things. And the way I created the frame is by just offsetting the triangles and then extruding that out and then just merging them and then deleting some faces to come up with our frame here. And then, of course, I added some fillets to the edges to make it a little bit more soft. Rounded off those corners because they're really sharp. So, and because it's extruding on the outside, not on the inside, it encases. It's like a cage, right? It encases the shelled D20. That's pretty much how I made it. It's pretty neat.
It was a really lovely technique because you can make it to use like diamonds or
yeah, you could
a lot of different
a pommel of a sword.
Yeah. Like
all sorts of decorative things.
Yeah, the little classic diamond shape that they show inside there.
Yeah,
very awesome.
Cool stuff. So that's my quick Lair. I will do a full one next week. Yeah. So there you go.
Oh, cool.
All right.
Very lovely.
Let's do some shop
Very
talking.
Timely. So if you guys haven't been checking out all of these stories for Instagram, make sure
we're using
to follow
stories a lot.
Noe. You're the one using stories. I'm just still posting just regular pictures.
Check us out. I'm Ekin.
videos.
Pedro's Video Pixel. Check those out.
So I was cleaning out my keyboard because it was looking like I kind of needed to clean it. I've not cleaned it since I got it, since we did the keycap project. And while in cleaning it, I sort of broke one of the keys. Went out, reprinted it, and I was a little bit too hasty in putting it back in. I didn't give it any time to cure, so I broke the stem, the Cherry MX stem, and putting it in. And I was thinking to myself, why did
it break so easy?
Yeah. And I think when we did the project, we had not yet started carrying these very lovely UV LEDs. So I was like, okay, let's try this out. Brought it out, and you guys might have seen the picture of us playing with these just to see how long it would take to cure one of our SLA resin prints. And it took about half an hour, I want to say, but just after like 5 to 10 minutes, the tackiness that you normally feel once you take it out of the alcohol went away, and the strength on it was a lot more noticeable. So we are prototyping a nice little UV curing box for this. Just wanted to show that off.
Check it out, guys. These are a lot of our prints that we did when we first got the Ember 3D printer from Autodesk. We just did a lot of different projects and things, but yeah, we never tried shining it with the UV light. Excuse me. But hey, this stuff is incredibly fluorescent.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because that's kind of the way it gets cured, right? So the light that's being projected is actually UV.
UV projector, right? Yeah.
So if you were to shine UV light at just a regular cup of goop, it would harden. Eventually, it would harden.
And that's the reason why all of the Formlabs one, the window trays are all like orange to keep
so it blocks
to block
UV,
out the UV.
sunlight.
So we've actually sort of done this project with the UV nail cure, if you guys remember. It's in one of these.
There you go.
I think, yeah, there it is. So it's going to be similar to a box like this, usually because the prints are, about 40 by 30 by, like 100 millimeters tall. So it's going to be something like this where it'll have an array of UV LEDs on there. And it's just a simple little box that'll just cure your prints a little bit more faster instead of having them hang out by the sun, get some UV rays by the sun.
Yeah, so we're going to do something similar like this, but we're going to make a custom PCB to create custom mounting holes and to make it a little bit easier. Instead of having all these wires here, we could just have traces. Yeah. So it'll be specific to the circuit. But if you want to build one, you could totally use Becky's guide here. A couple of resistors, of course. How many LEDs was it? It was like 30 or something?
30, I believe, yeah.
This isn't an overview. So check out this if you haven't, and if you're interested in just having, 30 UV LEDs. So we got the UV LEDs. You can pick up a pack of 10 for $5. It is a clear. You could sand this down to make it more
frosted,
more diffused, and to scatter the light a little bit more. So that's relatively easy to do. So you have the choice there. But yeah, so we picked up a bunch of these, and we're gonna get on that. And this project here was a year ago, right?
Yeah,
Let's take a look at the video.
You can take a look at this very lovely little project video. We give away the files so you can customize all your keys for a Cherry MX keyboard.
Or you can print this out on FDM. But hey, this was a great project idea for the Ember.
Yep.
So back when we were using 123 design, this is how we built it. Pretty cool.
There's the FDM version if you want to print it upwards. Although I kind of recommend printing it on the side to get a way higher resolution for your print.
There's the difference.
Yeah. So right now, because it's so hot in Florida, we have this the Ember printer in the garage because we just can't have this thing inside here.
Yeah, it's
the
very
smell is
smelly.
can't take it. And I did update the guide in there because at the higher temperatures, the tip diameter for the support material will not resolve in higher temperatures. So,
wow.
So we had to go from using 0.7 to using a 0.4 millimeter for the tip diameter there.
Oh, yeah,
so I updated the guide on that in case you guys are trying to print this out like in a garage.
So I have some questions. If any of you guys have a Formlabs or access to a Formlabs 2 3D printer, do you guys get that similar smell, right? Because
from the resin.
IC tested and other people use the Formlabs. Bill Doran has the Formlabs. And it's in their workshop. I'm not sure, we have to have it in our garage, our Ember 3D printer, because like you said, it's very stinky. It's very smelly. Because of that, the quality is suffering right now because it's so hot here and we don't have an air-conditioned garage because it's garage. Yeah. So that's my question. Can you folks tolerate it? Is there even an odor in the Formlabs? And also, some people don't use gloves. Like, we have to use gloves all the time. Like, I don't get why people don't use gloves. But
anyway, here is a nice little Bulbasaur. If you guys didn't see from this week's Time-Lapse Tuesday, it's what we used to do the curing for that. It looks very lovely.
It's way too bright, guys. Like, it looks so much better in
real life,
in real life. It's crazy how fluorescent it is. Like, there's Bulbasaur. This one was made by the guys at 3D Central. Or Carry the What.
Carry the What, yeah.
Yeah, they're 3D Central now. Or 3D Central, like, hired the guy. So, pretty cool. You did some different things here. This is straight resin from Autodesk, right? Or is it from...
this one is from Formi.
Right, Formi is a...
Oh, no, just Formi.
Okay, just Formi. Formi is a new company. They just... they're coming out with resins, yeah.
So, our injection molding designer...
Mike Dole.
Who
made a lot of the Adafruit enclosures for the Raspberry Pi.
He uses an Amber printer for doing all of the prototyping. So talk to the guys and let us try out
they're
some
affordable
samples.
resin, right? They're not like $100 a liter.
Yeah.
I think they're like half the price, right?
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
$40, I believe.
Yeah, I'll put a link down below, guys, if you're interested. It works with the Formlabs as well, right?
And it's able to print a little bit more higher quality in the heat, since this one over here that I'm shining it on right now is the Autodesk one. Let's see if you can
Autodesk
see
standard clear resin.
Yeah.
And you painted one though, right? Or you coated it with enamel Rust-Oleum, right?
Yeah,
something
you can
like
see
that.
Kind of the.
Wow, it's working out.
The layer, if you brighten it up a little bit, like I'm showing in there. I was able to get better detail out of the Formi resin in the higher temperature. You can see that like there's a bunch of build lines and it like started cracking a little bit, which is why I put the enamel on there to halt that. And the Formi resin was able to come up with a lot better detail, didn't have any of that cracking, any of those build lines. And this was the exact same file, the exact same temperature, no changes, and it came out a lot more, quality came out a lot more better. So definitely check them out. Very cool. I like these.
Yeah.
All right, that is our resin segment for today.
Yeah, we're planning to do some more stuff. So
yeah, as the temperatures cool down and the resins go back to what their attendant temperatures were supposed to be.
Yeah.
Not 100 degrees. So next week's project is going to be the Circuit Playground Yo-Yo. Yeah,
so we showed this off last week. We're just wrapping up the voiceover and the guide, which is pretty close. What did you print this on, Pedro?
Yeah, so one of the reasons we're just showing this off is because it's a fully 3D printed yo-yo. There's no hardware required for this. All of the components are using the screw technique.
I'm still sick. Let me get some tea here.
But one of the reasons, we've shown this off a couple times on, all the coils, and you did some layer by layers last week on how to make this work. The only reason we're showing it again is because we want to show that these work perfectly on the M3D.
Yeah. And shout out to Kirby who made a custom thread for a specific mason jar, and they used that in a project. So I didn't think about you can make custom threads to something that's already existing, like a piece of glass, like a mason jar.
And we have a lovely little time lapse here on the M3D.
Let's watch it as our
So the trick to making this work
Video.
is you have to print at 150 microns, which the M3D can do very well. Just wanted to show this off. Definitely takes a little bit more longer to do at 150 microns, but the quality is very nice. I'm using the updated F33, or, oh man, I can't remember the name now.
M33?
FIO M3, oh my god, I can't believe I forgot the name of it. But he
M3D
just came out,
FIO?
M3D FIO, yeah. No, it's M33 FIO, sorry.
Right,
It's the
because
Octoprint
he had to change the name.
plugin for the M3D. And Donovan 6000 just recently updated it to version 1.7, which is adding a lot of nice features for the custom firmware that he's been working on for the M3D. So definitely check that out if you have a M3D Micro.
Cool. All right.
A lot of people have been asking for M3D specific projects, and
There you go.
this is why we're showing this off.
The cool thing is you could totally print the D20
Yeah.
on the M3D as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And again, all the custom threads all work perfectly on here. Take a look at the backlash settings if you're having problems printing circles, because I'm just using all the default ones, and our circles came out perfect.
Cool.
So let me check that out. Nice little project. We'll launch this next week.
All right. That's been shop talk. Let me do something real quick. We'll go right there, and we'll come back over here. All right, cool. See that fixed the lag a little bit. It's very, very laggy. One of the setbacks of not streaming live. All right. What else we got, Pedro?
We have some either community makes or
Q&A. Let's do Q&A because it's right there. All right. First question is, let me bring that up. First question is from Oscar, who's saying, hey, can I use the gamepad PCBs and a Raspberry Pi 3 on the Super Game Pi? It's still one of those projects that we have on the giant list of to-do things that we have. Yes, you would have to remodel a couple things because the buttons are a little bit different. They're just slightly positioned differently. But in theory, it should work. And if you can remodel the positions of the gamepads, you can add some mounting hole standoffs, and that would work really well. And I would probably stick with a 5-inch screen. Yeah, because 7 might be too big. But hey, it's your project, so you can make it whatever you want. But yeah, should be able to work. Next question is from Spectrum, who's asking, what operating system is that on the 10-inch Raspberry Pi desktop?
Anytime you see that orange, it is the operating system from the very lovely folks over at Kano.
Kano OS is what they're calling it. And if you go to Kano's website, which is, I'll have it linked below, Kano.me, they have a download. So you can download for your Pi 1, 2, and 3, and 0.
So this one's primarily for education, like for kids. It has a lot of really
but it's so nice.
easy ways to teach how to program. But yeah, their OS is definitely
lovely. It's
very
polished.
heavily UI.
It's very key polished.
So check them out. Really like those guys over there.
All right, cool.
Awesome work.
Next one.
They're actually going to be in Toys R Us if you want to pick up
the
their
Kano.
kits.
Yeah, you must have read the Maker Business newsletter, so check that out. All right, this one's from Sergey, who wants to know, it's an unrelated question on the coils there, Belair. How did you make Simplify 3D show a printed bed like that? Well,
so
if you guys don't know.
It took me a little bit of digging around to find out where they actually hid this. On Windows, I think it's a lot more easier since on the Mac, they actually hide your library.
Yeah, and just real quick, if you search on Thingiverse, this gentleman here made a custom one for his Lulzbot Mini. So you could make your own, right?
Yeah.
So you can make your own.
And he tells you where to find the directory on Windows.
On Windows, right. So this got us thinking, like, all right, let's quickly find out where it is. So we've recorded a little screencast here. So if you're on a Mac, you can get to the directory by going to your hard drive, your users, your home, library, application support, and then the Simplify 3D folder. Within there's another folder called S3D software, and then you'll find the STLs that are included. There's actually only 3 printers that are included: the FlashForge, the MakerBot Replicator 1, and the Replicator 2. And when you open it in like a STL previewer, like Pleasant 3D in this case, you'll notice that you kind of have to have it oriented in the right spot. So if you look at the ground plane, the bed has to be below that plane, otherwise it's not going to know where to place it. Yeah, it'll go below the bed. So when you're modeling it, obviously make it low polygon, not so high res, and
because it does affect performance when you're scrolling around in there. There is an option to turn that off if you hit that limit.
Yeah, but it's kind of neat that folks can make their own. How do you add it to your profile, though?
So inside of Simplify 3D, under your preferences, we're going to quickly walk you through it. So Simplify 3D, preferences, and under machine, there is, let's see, under machine, there is a way to add printer models. There's a little add button right here. And that'll let you add the...
We're going to do a tutorial because this isn't working out, obviously. Like, we can't see your screen. It's
no,
not
I thought you were
here. I searched all over their website. We thought there was a video.
I could have sworn I saw a video on that.
We could have sworn, but it's mysteriously gone.
Yeah, so
like,
we'll
what
do
happened?
A video on that.
So we'll probably do a tutorial on that.
But that means we'll probably have to model a bed, which we'll
should
probably
we
model the Sigma, Since there's one on there.
You don't want to model the whole printer, just the bed.
Just the bed, yeah. Since it's a simple, I mean, it's just like some knobs that are on the bottom there.
Yeah. But this is cool because the Lulzbot has those discs and the wiping plate and all that.
A printer by the bed this way.
Pretty cool.
So we'll add those in there. It's just a couple of boxes and cylinders.
And I think if you search on the Simplify 3D website, there's maybe some folks add theirs. Maybe they have it on GitHub or some other places.
There might be more models we just haven't seen.
Yeah. But good question. Very good question. And we'll try to cover it.
Oh, and again, there is a widget on the Mac to enable the hidden library folder.
Yeah, or you can do it in Terminal. There's 100 ways to do something. 100 ways to skin. Never mind.
A very printed model.
Yeah. All right, the next one is from OmniClips. He basically wants to know where's that cable for the Raspberry Pi and what's the name of it. Good question. That is called, this is such a handy cable. It really is for a lot of different projects. You want to extend your screen, your display, or just the entire GPIO from the Pi. You can do so with this cable here. This is the GPIO ribbon cable. It can work on the Pi A+, B+, Pi 2, Pi 3. It's the 40 pin. We also have the 26 pin version here. So you can get that one if you have an older Pi or an older Pi hat or Pi accessory that only uses this many pins. So pick your one. Look at that old Pi. It's so old.
One of the main things you use this for was cutting it up so you can attach all the buttons for making.
And we even have one that has a 20 to 40, which is kind of necessary in some cases. I forgot about that one. Yeah, downgrade Pi cable. Yeah, so it makes it like, look at this one. So we got a bunch of cables. So just go to the Adafruit site and search for GPIO ribbon cable for Pi, and you'll get many of them.
You can go to the category Raspberry Pi cables.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There's a little breadcrumb there for where to get to that.
Such a lovely site. And if you do pick it up, get it today with the key polish. You get 10% off your cable. All right, that answers the question. Next one is from Simon Pearson. Loves the project, gets all the parts, but he wants to know, do you have to use this screen or could you use a bigger screen like a 2.4 or 2.8? The PiGRRL Zero uses the 2.2 for very specific reasons, so I designed the case specifically for the 2.2. So you would have to modify the case. The 2.4 and the 2.8 have some differences. There's some differences in how the cable management would be, so you'd have to do a lot of work on it. And I specifically picked that one because it was the way I could get it to be the most thinnest. And if you look at the guide, am I on the right? Yeah. If you look at the guide, you can see that I soldered the screen directly to the Pi GPIO. So that thing's not coming off, you know. So that is the thinnest I can get it when it's directly soldered. No Pi cables. As soon as you add a ribbon cable, you add like 10 millimeters of thickness.
Yeah, there's a lot of considerations that go into these projects on why we pick specific products.
Yeah. So get the 2.2.
If you want to modify them, you'll have to do some head scratching on how to redesign
a lot of reiterations, a lot of printing again. But hey,
all
you
the
can
files
do
are
that.
They're editable.
Pick up the screen since you don't have it. 10% off. There you go. Every Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah. You'll learn a lot. Thanks, Simon, for the question. Good luck with that one. And on to Oscar, who wants to know if you could use a Pi 3 with the PiGRRL 2. We put together a series of videos on how to get the camera work. Wait, no, that was the Octoprint. But we did a video on how had to install the software
RetroPie
manually.
on 3.
Yeah, emulation station, RetroPie 3 on a Raspberry Pi 3. There are some little quirks in here and there with the frame buffer tools.
Yes.
But hopefully they get ironed out, and you can do it. I sent him the link already, so he's checking that out, and he's very excited to build one.
Yeah.
So
this is the
shout out to you, Oscar.
main reason why we hold off a little bit on building these projects for a newer Pi, because software
kernels.
is,
Oh no.
They always have to catch
glitchy.
up, and it takes a little bit of time since they are free projects.
Yeah, and I
People have
believe
to
Phil
devote time
B
to
actually
them.
wrote an update specifically for like a keyboard bug that was going around.
Oh yeah.
So
Yep,
there's a
just
lot of
gotta
edge
wait a
cases
while,
and things. So just be wary.
But the longer
There
you
you go.
wait, the better everything will get. So
Yeah. The longer you wait.
patience.
That's great. Good things come to those who wait.
Yep.
So that's all I got for this week. Thank you guys for asking the questions. We'll be back next week with the live stream, so we can answer your live questions.
Yep.
And it worked out well this week. So
So
cool.
we actually got some community makes.
Yeah, let's do community makes. Here we go. There's a little Adabot. He's very happy because he got some community makes. Go to that. Let's go to the right window. So the first one I want to share is from Charles Crowdford III. He came up with a cool project using flexible filaments. He's calling it the external extensor exoskeleton. And basically, it's like an accessibility type project where it's supposed to help rehabilitation, folks that suffer from tendons and stuff. So if you go to the description, he's got some inspiration. And you know what this reminds me a lot of? This thing. This is cool. So he got inspired by this project, which uses these little, what do you call them, straps. And you loop them through this thing to hold onto your hand. There's actually a useful use for that.
Yeah.
Instead of just raver party, like this can help your tendons, like with rehabilitation. So it's really great. Great use of the material. And he also got inspiration from this one, which is pretty cool. Wait, that's yours. Wait, no, this one. This one's I've seen this one before, which is pretty cool. This one's just sort of again a demo piece. But he combined all these three ideas to make his project, which is the great thing about Thingiverse and just the open community that we have. And then these straps here, so you print it flat, and then you can wrap it around because it's flexible material. Yep. And you have these kind of locking mechanisms here that have like variable sizes, right?
Yeah, I really like the designs that they used on this.
Yeah, this would be great for a lot of different things. Cool, love the textures and stuff.
Nice.
So great job, Charles.
And he is a frequent guest on the show and tell.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know.
A lot of robotics, a lot of 3D printing. Great stuff. Thanks, Charles. Appreciate it. And the next thing we got is...
Modified Pi Zero.
Yeah, that's kind of modified. I think there's a hole here. I'm not sure what the hole's about. But hey, he added an acrylic sheet on the inside of the display so that he wouldn't get any things inside of it because there's a wide gap, apparently. But hey, that works well.
Maybe it's a low battery indicator.
Maybe. Yeah, I see a little glowing here. But I don't know. We haven't seen too many makes because it's summertime. A lot of people are on vacation. So it's nice to ramp this back up. So shout out to you. Buddy Bob is his name. Thingiverse. Cool. Still a lot of makes happening on the PiGRRL Zero.
Clean print.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, Ninja Flex. Cool. And the other one is a remix of the Pokemon Go charger. He made this one for a bigger battery. So what battery is this? That battery.
Very cool.
It's like a 22,000. This one is, I didn't say what battery it is, what the capacity is, but he has the model. And he took it inside of Fusion 360, and he just made it bigger. So I love that when people take the model and adjust it to them, they make it their own project. Very, very cool.
Exactly where we release all the project files. You can modify and make them better.
Yeah, that looks great.
Make them suit your
Look how
needs.
clean that looks. I love how they're both orange. Pretty cool.
I've been wanting to make one with the transparent yellow that we have with the lights inside.
That'd be cool.
To match the nice little white and blue case for Pokemon.
So clean, so cool.
Very awesome.
All right.
Awesome job, sir.
All right, cool. Well, that's all the community makes. If you guys have any projects that you want us to share on the show, just drop us a line. You can comment on any of the YouTube videos. You can hit us up on Twitter and Instagram. We have handles. We have the same handles for Twitter, Instagram, and that's it, I think. Yeah. Yep. Again, let me fix this. And we didn't go away. We're just trying to fix it's still, yeah.
Well, thank everybody for joining. Remember,
is that it? Is that really it?
Today's coupon code key polish, you're going to get 10% off in the Adafruit shop.
Yep.
You can pick yourself up some lovely components.
Filament.
Filament.
Printers if you need it. And
It's what keeps this whole company running.
Support the show by getting a kit every once in a while.
Yeah, some people were asking, how come there's no donate button?
Oh,
well, we have something a lot more better than a donate button. We have a discount code for you guys. Just buy components that you'll actually use on projects.
That's a good thing, yeah.
That'll help us out.
Cool. There's also badges and I think t-shirts.
There's badges for doing workshops, school, so...
hey, look, we're a little bit better. Okay, cool. So there you go, 3D Hangouts. Hey, we haven't done this in a while. Every Wednesday, there's also a coupon code, and it's just show and tell. Google Hangouts On Air is gonna die soon, so we're gonna figure out how to do it, but we're gonna keep forward.
We'll get
with
those invites out somehow.
We'll get them out somehow. So stay tuned to find out how we're gonna do this stuff.
Yeah, don't forget to check out all of the lovely shows. Colin Cunningham has Pseudo-Random. Tony has Watch Tony D's Desk, and of course,
there's a special one this Saturday. Ooh. It's an unboxing of AdaBox. That's going to be cool. I know a lot of people got it. I apologize to all the people in the internationals. We're working on it. It's,
there's
we have to do a test run here with the U.S. and then we see the popularity.
There's a lot of regulation with like batteries and things like that, so we have to figure all that stuff out.
Yeah.
But make sure to subscribe to YouTube, Twitch, and even Facebook Live. You can get those notifications when Phil and Lamar go live. So
great. Cool. Well, that's it, Pedro. 41 minutes. We did it. All right,
guys.
guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next week live and direct, something like that. I'm Noe.
Pedro. See you guys next week.
Adios, everybody. Clickety click, click, click. Now let's do a song.